And Americans who know they were created in the image and likeness of God and endowed by Him with certain inalienable rights. Americans who understand the safety and infinite value of every human life, and who know that freedom and dignity comes not from wealth, position, or power, but from the Father. I am here to praise Americans who have been awakened from a deep slumber after a year-long nightmare of total democratic rule. We're finding our voice once again as Americans who believe the power of government is on loan from the people, and the power is supposed to protect and secure our rights, not erode them. We understand in this room that the Constitution was created to protect us, not to subject us to a despotic central government. And that the principal role of government is to advance the cause of freedom. We know as government grows, freedom contracts. We know that the more we pay in taxes, the less we take home. The more we spend today, the less we save for tomorrow. And I know somebody out there when I said that said, you politicians always talk about cutting spending, but you never do it. When I first came to the Railroad Commission of Texas, we had more than 950 employees. We have right at 700 today because we took your word and your challenge to cut the size of government. The theme for today is advancing freedom. And there's no greater challenge and no greater threat to the freedom of American families and American businesses than the fantasy called global warming. And the proposed EPA regulations to control CO2 and the federal cap and trade legislation. And by the way, back home in Texas, we say cap and trade is cap and tax. Cap our jobs and cap our economy and trade our jobs over to China and India. My friends, you know, 2 months ago, the EPA ruled that the air we exhale represents an endangerment to our health. This ruling came just weeks after the so-called science behind man-made global warming came into question because of the manipulation of climate data. It turns out that the scientists in Great Britain, who are connected to scientists in the United States, and have received millions of dollars in grants to advance the science of climate change, have cooked the data to back their claim that your activities imperil this earth. It seems that the idea of following the science wherever it leads is not so attractive when the science begins to threaten future research dollars. So data that shows evidence of global war cooling has been buried, altered, discarded, with emails and other data destroyed to prevent a public hearing. Don't you think it's ironic that liberals who claim we rushed to war in Iraq without hard evidence of weapons of mass destruction now say, alternatively, we need to rush to pass new climate laws and regulations without scientific evidence settling the matter? You might call this the policy of preemptive warming.